Xayah gained this entire split, so I think they will just take the Aphelios. And then it's what Karsa wants in the jungle, right? Do we see him take potentially the Volley Bear? Could also see him take the Trundle instead. Usually expect a jungler's rotation, so we'll see if that happens. Could also, I mean, ppgod's been heavily prioritizing the Leona, so could also come out here.
Yeah, and actually, funny enough, we mentioned the Xayah for Photic. In terms of his career, he's played it 11 times and won twice. He is 2-9 on the pick, so not feeling super confident on that particular one, but we are going to wait to see now where the side of Top Esports want to bring this. And honestly, the Xayah isn't a bad pick. It isn't a bad champion. It's just how you work around it. And sadly, in game one,
I feel like it's a broken champion,
yeah,
right?
you feel like it's broken, but I think from game one, you know, you want to, don't take that into consideration. I still think JackeyLove can do great work on that.
Yeah, I don't think that was a Xayah issue at all. I don't think it was a draft issue. I think game one draft was fine. I think it was just a gameplay issue. We do see the Jarvan for Karsa, something we've seen a lot more, I feel like, in other regions than the LPL, something that has that early ganking pressure and also good engages. But if you end up trying to like fight a Viego 1v1, you don't really have the follow-through damage to take him out. Now, Leona picked up for Mark, also a partial denial as ppgod has heavily lent on that. I feel like we could just see the Nautilus traded off here. We could even see them leaning to something like the Thresh. Bear in mind, you have a Jarvan who's going to provide that primary engage. Or you could go in a different direction. You could take the Ryze, right? You can take that mid laner, and now you can deny Top Esports from matching with the Galio like V5 did last game, and they are instantly going to do that.
That's exactly what they decided to do. You're not going to get that global pressure now. They could honestly even go with the Twist of Fate as well, something we have seen go into the Ryze too. Varying success rates, does have a much harder time into the Ryze than the Galio does, but we'll see what V5 want to do. And Top Esports, they're going to try and prioritize the bot side, take ppgod off of his comforts, put him onto something a little bit different.
And I'll say, we saw some Renata gameplay from ppgod, right? I was really underwhelmed. You could see a Renata Aphelios come out here in theory because it's a strong combo. ppgod did not look good, and in the most recent series, we saw V5 just stick ppgod and Leona basically every game when they could, so denying that possibility, trimming away those tools. They do ban the Tryndamere though, as the second one, potentially concerned about Rich using that as a counter pick. And now V5 going for the Syndra ban again, denying power from Knight, so I expect a support pickup here. You could go for something like the Thresh or the Tom that's defensive, or you could go for the Rakan if you want that extra engage potential. And based on how ppgod has been performing and how they've lent on putting him on these engage champs, it does make sense.
Absolutely, and the Rakan Jarvan combination, the Cataclysm Quickness, it is a very, very powerful early game a tool to be able to use. And now Top Esports, the Tryndamere ban means that Wayward can take his grades up into the top side and has got a very good track record on it, but it is something that can be countered. And now Top Esports, I like the Vex to a certain degree, but can decide, yeah, he's going to lock it in. So Vex in here for the Knight up against Rookie's Ryze. It has a lot of playmaking potential, but you are very reliant on landing your Shadow Surge.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like semi-global, but if you miss your ult, it's so awkward having to hobble over to the skirmish.
Tiniest little emo, little Yordle just wandering up.
Yeah, not fun. But it does mean with Tian on the Viego, so much reset potential. If you get one kill in the fight, you will just snowball, snowball, snowball. We do see Rich go for the Jayce, and this is, again, I feel like we're getting so many callbacks in this draft, right? The Vex, we haven't seen really over playoffs. The Jayce Graves matchup that dominated the early portions of the split, returning here. Feels like a lot of these teams are just going back to comfort, but ultimately here, right, we have Ryze 4v5. They have the advantage in that roaming mid matchup. They have a Jarvan as well, who's a strong early ganker. I do feel like Top Esports get a lot of power at level 6, but it's V5 I feel like have the advantage early. But I think Top Esports, I still think they're fine with this draft. But again, I think Game 1 draft was fine. It is not about the champions they picked. It is about the execution. So that's the big question. Can they improve?
Yeah, can they improve? And honestly, it's going to be interesting to see. I want to see more from Tian. Honestly, he just felt the opacity was just set to the, like, you know, the constantly just can't see through him. He was invisible. He just couldn't really do anything in that last game. He needs to be more active. He needs to be more, especially on something like a Viego and how powerful it can be. He needs to be the one making things work for Top Esports. And it is a team that, you know, individually we have seen them absolutely insane at every single lane, but together as a team they need to bring it together. They need to make sure it's happening. Otherwise V5, as we saw in game 1, will walk you over. Like, they will just go, cool, bye, and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, I will say though, I honestly feel like for V5 the Jarvan in this game doesn't have the highest value, right? Because there's not many people you can really Cataclysm effectively. Xayah has her ultimate. Vex can obviously use her ult to dash out or just press a W when you're in there with the Viego, Graves, not the easiest to stick down. So ultimately, honestly, I feel like when it comes to teamfights, I kind of like how top esports composition is going to function. But V5, if they get a lead, if they get Jayce ahead, if they get Aphelios ahead, will have a lot of strength. So really, emphasis on V5, trying to find, once again, an early lead. Top esports, I think, have a bit more comfort if it goes later. But after we saw that game 1, if they do that again, it doesn't matter how good your comp is later. You will just flop.
Yeah, you will just end up flopping over and dying. But now Rookie, they're thinking about it. Knight hasn't used his ultimate, or excuse me, his ability just yet. Did get the fear off, but they're not able to follow it up just yet. So it's just a little bit of harass between the mid laners, and then everybody backs away as we wait to see where everything wants to go. But I will say, you know, for top esports, it's going to be difficult to deal with the poke coming out from this Jayce. We've seen it time and time again. Even if you put the Jayce down, once he gets the 2-3 items, he still will smash you with the shock blast. So I feel like it's going to be a lot of pressure here on Wayward to make sure that he's making a good movement and making use of his time as the Graves.
Yeah, just because ahead it becomes difficult. And I think also when you're really far behind as a team, you end up having to fish for a better engage. When you're ahead, you can kind of just like take whatever engage comes, and they have a lot of engage tools, so I feel like if top esports get ahead, the Jayce won't really be that much of a problem, especially as he's such a snowballing champion. So I'm all, once again, it's been the story of the whole playoffs. We've brought it up time and time again. Mid jungle is the focal point, and I want to see what Rookie can do, not on the Galio, but still on a pick that can make that impact.
We'll see what they're able to do again. This is a best of 5, so you're not quite down and out yet, and we have seen it twice already in the double elimination process of our bracket. When you're 0-2 down, it seems to be a strength for certain teams. Obviously, you don't want to be going 0-2 down, but they have proven before for top esports they have gotten back onto it.
Well, one thing to be said, if you can like stay mentally sound, right, despite going down, if you can sort of be like, okay, yeah, we're 2-0 down, it doesn't matter. Going 2-0 down, often you get information, right? If you can, over the course of those 2 games, work out what their strength is and then combat it, you know, it's not necessarily the end of the world. Because as we said, reverse sweeps have been such a common thing. And just because a strategy works once or twice, if you're able to combat it, then it's on the other team to respond. And if they're not able to do so, that's where you see those reverse sweeps happen. So despite the fact, you know, top esports are a game down, still very much an opportunity to bounce back on this one.
And now let's talk about the early game now. Let's start talking about where we expect to see the early shenanigans, if you will, coming out here right now. Because the Karsa is on a Jarvan, and we have said many, many times, if you're on a Jarvan and you're not ganking, you're playing him wrong. So where do you want to see Karsa prioritize, and where do you want to see him move around the map to get an advantage for V5?
I think bot and top are both really viable options, right? I mean, honestly, even mid can work, right? If you have the setup from Rookie. I just want to see it somewhere, and the critical thing is avoiding Tian. Oh, Tian.
Oh, Tian is bot side though, and Photic in a lot of trouble. He's not even going to use his flash because he knows that he's just dead. Flash from ppgod should keep him alive. But similar to game 1, we see the Viego getting that early advantage. Smite gets used by Karsa to make sure he guarantees himself the scuttle, but top esports, very good early proactivity from Tian.
Yeah, rough start. I love the fact that Mark sets up the play initially. The cleanse is already burned. Photic's like, okay, this trade's got a bit rough, and then the enemy jungler turns up, just disaster. And this is a problem, right? You have this lane that is pushing forwards, you're trying to establish control in the lane. We've seen these bot lanes go heavily into the 2v2, but by pushing forwards with your jungle on the opposite side of the map, you're just setting yourself up into a painful situation. Honestly, I feel like what they should have done is, knowing Karsa is passing top, they should have sacrificed the level 2 and let top esports push into them. Because now, not only do they suffer there, but Photic has also walked back in the lane. The lane is still in a horrific spot, right? We could just see a return gank right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what we're going to see. Tian is there. However, Flash was used from him last time to make sure he could get that kill onto Photic. But here we go again. They know there's no Flash, there's no cleanse. But it's pretty hard to land anything on top of a running away target, especially with the Rakan giving you the extra shields.
That's a critical thing. Photic still with a flash, you know, as you said. I feel like maybe if Mark had Hex Flash, that'd be the angle, but doesn't have it, so not able to find it. And it's a big relief, because if Photic had died there again, would have missed out so heavily. Now, we do see Rich actually dominating this matchup, right? And we've seen this matchup time and time and time again in the LPL. Typically, we see the Graves have prio, really, because he has that AoE shove. And then the Graves eventually gets to the point where he has enough sustain where the Jayce can't poke him out. But the Jayce has that one-shot burst potential if you mess up. Here, though, we're just seeing Rich really dominate. Has a substantial chess lead, winning trades there. Definitely a positive for V5.
V5 are just kind of consistently putting pressure into all 3 lanes, and they're getting it free reign basically here for Karsa to run down, but we'll never know. But we are jumping back into the game. They're going for a dive here, but you haven't got the flag and drag just yet. And they're honestly just using this because like Leona's not going to be able to do anything here. The Xayah's backed away. They go for the dive. They get the tank up here. The ignite is ticking. They go back in on top of Photic. And you said it was never going to work in a million years. It is when JackeyLove just leaves.
Yeah, I'm not sure why JackeyLove left. He wasn't even that low on HP. I mean, because the thing is, we paused and then we jumped a little bit ahead. I'm confused because you saw like how long it took them to kill the Leona. You saw how much damage they took. Bear in mind that JackeyLove had flash as well. I really feel like that would have been a tower dive that was, as I said, I honestly thought it just wouldn't happen, but then JackeyLove resets. So I don't know. I don't know, Top Esports. At least they get a dragon. That's the consolation prize.
I mean, yeah, they got the dragon off of that. It is a dragon. To start the stacking, it is pretty early as well, so you're going to be able to get this, reset, and get yourselves in position for that first Herald. And yeah, maybe we'll get a replay, maybe we won't. We'll have to wait and see.
Maybe exactly they're just trying to make me look stupid.
Honestly?
Maybe that's why they paused. To like, let's see what Aux has said. They can never dive? Oh, boy!
Well, top lane, ooh, Rich. Feeling very, very close to death right there as we go towards that top side. And this is kind of what we expect to see. It's just the burst damage between the two. Whoever can get their, combo off quicker tends to come out on top. But speaking of coming on top, Karsa's here. There is no ward here. They know that Tian is there, though, so they need to just try and back away from this.
Yeah, I mean, Rich is so low. There's no way you play that. Especially, it's a Viego. If he gets a reset, which he obviously would have, Rich stepped up to him, it's easy pickings. So V5 will back away. And that's the thing, this matchup, top lane goes back and forth. It does depend on execution. But the thing is, Wayward has the Vam Scepter in the Doran's Blade. He's going to have a bit more sustain. Obviously, they get to the point where more burst is online for Rich on those 2 items. He can 100-0 you. It very much goes back and forth. And Wayward has found a bit more momentum. Remember, he was down in CS and get bullied out before, or is now doing quite well for himself.
Come back into it. 30 seconds till Rift Herald spawns. Let's talk about why we see so many teams fighting around the Rift Herald. Why is it such a heavily prioritized objective? Even when they haven't dotted their I's and crossed their T's, we still see money.
Money, right? You get the Herald, you can either slam it down mid, get a couple of plates, some cash in the pockets, or you slam it down bot, you get a whole tower, or top, get a whole tower, lots of money. So Team's Prio is this great tool to snowball, and really once you have the Herald in pocket, you're the one who sets the pace of the game. But teams also mis-execute, right? That's a massive factor. And here, we're not really seeing either side lean too heavily towards it right now. It's spawning. I know there's some vision in the area, a bit more in favor of Top Esports. Neither team making any first initial moves. And we'll see what happens in the bot lane. Often, if a bot lane has prio, they can then get a reset and head up there quicker. So could be V5 now with control of the lane, be the ones to move and make their presence known.
Yeah, it could be down to the scene now where V5 are able to make a move. They have got the bot lane pushing in their favor. Jayce will see if there is anyone sneaking around that Rift Herald, but doesn't find anything for himself. But now Tian, he's looking for a little bit of a stranger situation or a stranger tempo move, as in, most of us would be looking towards the Rift Herald. He, however, is looking towards bot lane. That's
a genius thing, though. If you never go towards Herald, you can't lose a fight on it. So maybe that's the play. We can see the rookie has prio in the mid lane and is moving to contest some vision. But Karsa, that's the thing, is he's not starting up the Herald because he doesn't have the information we have. We don't know Tian's location. Ultimately, though, the confidence that having the having your jungler there means JackeyLove and Mark were able to shove out the lane, right? We saw Mark throwing out the Zenith Blade, feeling more able to step up. They go for the reset, and now we can see Tian heading over. We can see Mark also moving as well, whereas V5 bot lane is still there. So, compared to Game 1, this is much better from Top Esports. They're actually doing their homework and setting up for this neutral objective correctly.
Yeah, well, we already have the Rift Herald being started up. It is on Vision, so you know this is happening right now as Rookie and Karsa wait in the wings.
And we can see V5's bot lane moving up. JackeyLove hasn't moved yet, so I said they were doing their homework. They might have cheated a little.
They might have cheated a little bit, as we now see the Rift Herald down to about 600. It's going to be secured, and it's gone. Top Esports should be able to get out without any real fight happening, and that's all she's going to write about that particular play. So, V5, they thought about contesting, but they just were a little slow on the rotation.
Honestly, that is best case scenario, right? Enemy moves their bot lane up, JackeyLove catches another wave, but you still get the objective because your support was there first.
Oh, okay. They're going to jump straight onto Rich, and he knows he's dead, so he's just going to try and take out the wave.
Wayward dropping the Amumu crying. Yeah. Oh, man. You know what? So last series, he really was light on the emotes, and I'm glad to see he's revitalized. That has been my favorite thing about Top Esports is Wayward spamming these emotes. So always a good game when he's dropping those. But yeah, I mean, much better Herald setup from Top Esports. They have that in pocket. This is night and day compared to the game one. And we'll see a replay coming out. There's just nothing you can do. No flash available, and obviously with Tian using his to secure the stun, he makes the right call to go for the minion wave.
Yeah, and they don't drop the Rift Herald either, so we are still going to have that in the back pocket of Tian. So we'll wait to see where they want to try and maybe work that into their plans. But top lane now being pushed in. They will get a couple of plates here now for Wayward. Just the one, actually, as he walks himself away, realizes that there is a Jarvan in the area alongside Rich coming back in to protect it. So again, good moves here from Top Esports, and honestly, it's exactly the kind of mental shift we needed to see for them. Game one was rough, to say the least, and now it looks like they're finally coming back in with saying, look, we did it, you know, we did our homework, as you said, we looked at our mistakes, and we figured out what we were doing wrong, and it was purely execution-based. Now, Mark here try and contest ppgod for the vision, as Dragon is just about spawned. This will be the second one of the game for Top Esports, but with Karsa now roaming in, they should be able to look for a 4v4. This could be a full fight here, and the TP has just been used by Wayward.
Just TP top. You know, that's a little bit of a bold one if you want to make a Dragon play. But ultimately, I guess they're not expecting Rich to come down, or maybe they're just looking to ward V5 away from the Dragon. We'll see how this one plays out. They still have the Herald in pocket, so they want to slam that middle bot. They can. V5 trying to establish control of the area, but don't think any of them are going to start this off yet.
Again, just more pressure kind of being, you know, pushed to pulled against, and we'll see if any team wants to pull the trigger on what they want to do. Both mid laners trying to gain priority into that mid lane. You would see the Rift Tower go down. They do have the stun, but it's a pretty tanky Ryze. Already got the Merc Treads, so not going to be stunned up for too long. And Top Esports try to re-establish control. They got to be careful, though. They're kind of being corralled and pincered in, almost herded like sheep. But never mind, these sheep have fangs, and they're going to try and bite back as they look to try and make this one work. But a double knock-up. The Moonlight Vigil goes across, but the stopwatch is great from Mark to keep him alive. Ryze, however, is machine gunning across this team. Top Esports thought they could look for the fight, but they were oh so wrong. Oh! Never mind! JackeyLove with the feathers finds two more and turns it right back into Top Esports' favor.
I was about to say so many negative things about Top Esports, and then JackeyLove comes up huge, and V5 disrespect the feathers. I mean, that was just an absolutely lost play, and then JackeyLove pulls it out of his hat. It's not a rabbit, it's feathers coming out, and he just managed to deliver that one so flawlessly, getting the kill on a rookie, and ppgod there. Man.
Let's have a look at this replay, because again, look, this is just Mark going on a Photic is a little bit isolated, but they buy so much time.
Yeah, he has summoners, so he tries to wait for the cleanse, but Photic gets out, and then critically, we see the Viego just get one shot. And I talked about those resets, they don't work when your Viego and your Vex are the first two to die. But then the feathers are just disrespected here.
They can't see them over the wall.
Yeah, ppgod's so low, and then just pulls them in. I feel like getting rookie, fair play, but ppgod, I don't even think JackeyLove expected to get ppgod there.
No, he did not. Well, we go back to the Dragon, and it is going to be secured by V5, so they stopped the stacking already. We'll get the Rift Herald into mid lane, so that sets up a second Herald push in about just under 2 minutes' time, but V5, they're not to be outdone just yet. It is a pretty close game, but Top Esports, they are finding a little bit of better momentum, and it's from the players we expected to see it from. JackeyLove, one of those big key carries that you just need to be popping off if you want to try and take these games.
And again, I feel like that was kind of worst case scenario in a fight for Top Esports, and was saved massively from JackeyLove. I do think the approach wasn't really correct, and we'll see if they're able to deliver a bit better in that regard. Because again, the way I talked about this team fight for Top Esports is you find a target, you kill a target, you get the resets. Committing onto Photic versus summoners who can just flash away.
Oh, they got him. There's nothing you can do. 100 to 0 here. As I say that, he's got the phase rush, and he says me completely wrong.
There's nothing you can do except that, Machine.
I didn't see the Eclipse. I forgot it had its shield, so he was able to keep himself alive. But you get an awful lot out of Rich down to the top side. He's going to have to try and just sustain off of these Krugs. Tian trying to see if he can steal, and will successfully steal away the red buff, and now Knight has to flash away because he didn't have a Shadow Surge to deal with Rookie, and this is like Top Esports. Yes, you got a bit of momentum behind you, but you don't want to throw it away! Wayward!
Oh, the crying move!
God damn! Wayward finally getting the solo kill. It was kind of technically a 1.5 solo. We will give him that in terms of the stats, but Top Esports still trying to find that momentum, and they're still looking around the map to try and get some kills.
And I think Rich disrespect this. Like, this is a lethality Graves. This is one of those I need to auto-attack you Graves. This is you chuck out the ultimate from that distance, and it just pops them. So positive, right, Top Esports, they get that tower in the top lane without using the Herald there. Remember, the Herald was mid, so a big advantage for this Graves. And when we're talking about bursting down a single target, the Graves be able to throw out an ult that does a ridiculous amount of damage.
Yeah.
Actually,
okay.
you know,
You know what? I was really happy to see if we could just make noises and see what happened there for the play-by-play. But yeah, honestly, Wayward didn't go down there. And again, Top Esports, they will pick up second Herald, but they have pushed away, V5 from the actual play because they got the priority in mid and top.
And Wayward is level 12, right? Rich is level
huge.
10, Karsa is level 9. He is an absolute beefcake right now. And V5 didn't want anything of that. Now, we do still have Rookie, right? Got 2 kills in the earlier fight and is up in farm. So he's in a pretty powerful position. But ultimately, Rich Rich dead again.
Yeah, he's gonna fall. He's not even gonna be able to get away from that one there. So Top Esports, they are starting to build up some momentum. They are starting to build that snowball we talked about, specifically in top side. It's becoming very difficult for V5 to actually control it. You need to make sure you're not kind of getting caught out consistently. Otherwise, Top Esports are going to do what V5 did in game 1.
I love this play from Knight, right? Shadowing the bot lane. Because obviously the game plan in your mind is, okay, we have Ryze, they're going top, we realm more bot and dive, but it's very hard to dive a Leona and a Xayah, especially when this Vex shadows. Vex shadowing, but you don't know where Knight is.
I was going to let you continue. You stopped yourself.
You don't know where the Vex is. You can't commit to the play. So ultimately, really good covering your back from Top Esports and Knight specifically. And now they are in a position, 2.5k gold lead. I favor that comp when it comes to team fighting. V5 are feeling the pressure.
Yeah, they very much are. And this Viego pick is becoming a very contested, very important pick here for both these teams. We saw it do fantastic things for Karsa. It's now doing fantastic things for Tian. And this is starting to become a bit of an interesting series. I won't lie, I was a little bit worried after game 1 that this was going to be a bit of a tough one for the side of Top Esports, that they've bounced back, and in what a way to do it as well. You now have 2 items onto Wayward with the Collector. No one can step to him at all. That's a Gore Drinker Karsa on the Jarvan. He's not going tank, he's looking for damage.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of these Jarvans come in with like the Chem Tank. I still think like the Gore Drinker, it got nerfed quite a bit. It is a lot rougher than it used to be. Damage with this build, but ultimately, like in an extended fight against Top Esports, you
really well. Now we're going to see the Rift Tower being dropped down into mid lane. 30 seconds till Dragon spawns. That would only be the second for either of these teams. Actually kill the tower before Shelly gets her head butt off. So now they get a second charge, or first, as a solar flare lands onto 2 people. And that's 2 towers perfectly set up. And now the fight can really maybe try and happen here. The Saboteur's been used, but Top Esports are shredding V5. There's nowhere for them to go. It ends up being 2 kills going over to Tian, and that could, honestly, it could be the Dragon. It's only too early for the Baron, but this is Top Esports owning the map.
Man, you see that Lover's Tiff, Xayah just deleting ppgod. You saw the ult come forward.
Oh, the Shadow Surge!
Goodbye.
The Shadow Surge
Rookie
resets, and now Rookie's in a lot of trouble. Has got the Realm Warp to keep himself alive and safe.
Don't do it, Knight. Don't do it.
He won't pre-press the cast on the R, but that's Dragon, that's top lane turret, that's a 5,000 gold lead, and we're not even at 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, they're just getting everything. Rookie just finds his way over here, but I'm not sure you can actually chase down. We'll see. Actually,
I mean, he flashes for it. He's going for it. This is really difficult for you to do. There's a lot being invested here. I don't even think Rich can take him down without a little bit of help. That's 4 members. Yes, Wayward goes down.
That's what he gets for spamming the Crying of Hoover. That's what V5 is saying.
You need to let that go.
No, I love it.
You need to let it go.
Part.
It's not relevant at all times.
It's so great. He makes it relevant.
But because you invested so much to killing off the Crying Amumu on the top side, V5 then lose bot lane tier 1 and the Dragon, and this game is starting to snowball against them.
It's a 5k gold deficit. Things are looking really rough. We're going to get a replay. I just want you to focus specifically on ppgod here, right?
Watch the emotes.
No, ppgod, watch this guy, okay? So he's ready for JackeyLove to come down from the ult, but then all the feathers are set up, and watch this. Just gets deleted. kind of hilarious in my opinion. And obviously you give the Rakan over to Tian so you can chase down Rich. And yeah, things are looking rough right now. And the fact that Knight also finds this ult on a Photic who's just a little bit disrespectful. Yeah, gets a follow-up. And now things are really in top esports control. We haven't seen the success from this mid-jungle from V5. I said, you know, the Ryze and the Jarvan, they would be able to have that strength. They just haven't been able to deliver. And now it's all top esports. 2 dragons in pocket, though. So still a while before the soul, but they're starting to look for some more picks. And look at Photic. No, Mark's not going to go for it.
I mean, they got to be so careful. It is kind of a 1-3-1 happening right now. Going to turn into a 4-1 in just a moment. But you've already put 2 people on the bot side. This is going to be very heavily skewed in favor of top.
Yeah, so this is top esports. They get some mid prio, and then they move into the top side jungle, completely contest the vision. If anyone steps up, they will just engage in them and kill them, and it means they can then move up to this wave. Knight is pushed in, so really good play coming out of them. On the other side, V5 have gone for the 2-man push in bot, but top esports don't really care. They will even move Wayward up. They are playing through both top and mid, and kind of just happy to let top go and keep applying this pressure. And that tower has lost so much health already.
I mean, one more wave and this could possibly go down. JackeyLove is huge right now on 2 items, and with Tian covering the flank, this is the base broken open. V5 are losing this trade so heavily. Yes, they get a tier 1, maybe they get a tier 2 here, but that's not where your base is now broken open. One mistake and you could lose the game.
Yeah, you know, I'm going to say, I feel like it's like the play you expect to see from top esports, but I think honestly V5, the fact you're trading at all is kind of positive here, but they will start the Baron. They want more out of this. They know Rich has no TP, and it's up to V5 to contest.
Look at Knight. He's off on the flank. He knows if he can get behind people, he's going to be in such a good position. They don't have him, and there he is. Flashes over with the personal space. It's going to force the stasis out of the Jarvan to try and keep Karsa alive, but he is dead to rights now. No jungler available. They go right back to the Baron.
Yeah, and they still have tools to try and find a re-engage, right? Tian would be able to ult and jump out. But now V5 trying to approach. Look at Mark!
Look at Mark. He's going to try and get something now as he tries to re-engage. Flashes away. And Wayward does get a lot of damage as well. So V5, they're going to try and continue to contest this top esports. Got to be careful. The poker comes in with those accelerated shock blasts, and rightfully so, in my opinion. Top esports respect it and back away.
Yeah, V5 able to ward it off. And top esports, they don't capitalize anymore. And now, you know, if you put together the objective bounties as well, this has actually been a really good passage of play for V5, all in all. They're 2,500 gold down. They got 5k gold down. So, like, sure, they lost that top lane inhibitor tower. I don't think they really care at all that much. They got 2 towers bot. They got a tower mid. They gap considerably. So, despite the fact top esports are taking, you know, the correct option, they just end up losing out in a massive way.
Yeah, and again, Rich, who was so far down in this game, is caught up in CS. He's got himself 2 items, and let's have a look at this, because this is great from Knight, but he gets the solo plays a little bit skewed there from Mark, and doesn't really land exactly where it needs to. They do get the kill, obviously, at the end of it, but
it's just not enough.
It's not enough, exactly.
It's not enough to be able to go with taking Baron now, and with how much the gold gap is close. Again, 5,000 to 2,000. That is such a stark difference. It is really starting to be a little bit scary for the side of top esports. We do see them going for the play that we just saw from V5, right? Send your mid and top laner into the side lane and try and look for a pick. If Knight connects with the ultimate, he can just set up the play.
He's on such a massive flank there. He's just going to go towards the mid lane and try and catch out ppgod, but Accelerate Shock Blast does not hit, as Rich now kind of pushes himself back towards his bot side to cover Rookie on this bot lane. All 5 members of top now here, while Photic pushes in the top lane. So, like you said, it's kind of a bit scary, and honestly, the big saving grace right now is V5, or sorry, the big saving grace for V5 is they have that first dragon. This isn't soul. This is only putting them on the soul points. They're not in any rush to try and defend this. They can keep stacking up those those items. As you've got an Aphelios going for you, you should be able to get stronger and stronger as the game goes on.
I think V5 are very effectively knowing where top esports are investing their resources, so they see top esports go, right, we want top side for Baron setup. We're putting a whole team there, and they go, right, none of our business unless you're doing Baron, let's back away. Same thing happens to the bot side. You guys want Dragon, cool, we're not contesting, and they just send someone to the side. They deep push a lane, reprieve some pressure, and also means you're getting some farm. So despite the fact top esports have picked up towers, have picked up dragons, the goal gap is quite close. It starts to become a little bit scary. This Ryze for Rookie is going to be super tanky. And bear in mind, you have 2 lethality champions on your team. You have 2 bursty champions as well. He's going to be a bit trickier to take down. Karsa working towards a GA. This Jayce now, who is so far behind, equal items to the graves.
And even has a bounty on his head because of the CS he's able to pick up. So, yeah, this is a little bit of a curious situation now, but V5 maybe caught out on that top side. It is Rookie and Karsa, so again, 2 of the tankier members of the side of V5. Very hard for top esports unless they want to commit everything, and even then it's not a guarantee. Bot lane's being pushed in here by Rich, and this is top esports, kind of similar to what we saw with them against RNG. Side lanes, the control of the rest of the map, the decision making when it comes to mid to late game, it does tend to suffer, and they're losing out on the side lane right now. Oh, never mind. Rich, he's got to be careful. He's going to see now a teleport coming in as Wayward just get a lot of damage down, and he's almost certainly dead to Ryze. He's almost trading it back, but they get the teleport out of the Vex. And yes, you invested it and you get a kill, but you don't have control over the Baron anymore.
Yeah, but I feel like V5 aren't able to do this because Wayward would TP in, have the numbers. They sacrifice some vision. You know, they get a kill on the Rich, which had a shutdown, hilariously enough, but it doesn't really translate into more, right? So, but at least it's top esports stopping that silent pressure. The question is, would they start a Baron now? Bare minimum, they're going to sweep out some of this vision and potentially see what they can get off the back of this.
This is risky. You've got Rich coming back up in just under 15 seconds with a teleport, so he's going to be able to make something work here, as we can now see Mark jumping in on top of the Rakan, and he is dead. Deleted. This Baron now going down to 7,000 HP. They may try and flip this one here. Photic maybe chosen the Moonlight Vigil, but I think you just got to let this one go, lads. The Realm Warp going to be coming in as well. They get them in, but it's only 2 members on the side of V5.
Oh, Rookie stole it!
Rookie, the hero for V5. They lose their lives, but they stop the objective from going over to top esports.
Yeah, I mean, managing to get you and your jungler in. I believe Rookie used the spellbook to have the smite to be able to contest that one. But ultimately, you still lose outright. You lost so many members. 3 more going down. Top esports, they don't get all they wanted, but they're going to push up through the mid lane.
There's some long death timers now. You won't be able to end the game just yet. The Moonlight Vigil comes out. Oh, the accelerated shock blast. They can't even break open this mid lane inhibitor. And that means the V5, they wait even longer. They stop the push. They are about 3,000 gold behind, maybe 2.5, but it is becoming less and less relevant the longer this game goes on.
Yeah, I mean, they have Dragon in 2 minutes. Would be sold for them. They kind of need to secure that if they're going to continue any momentum in this game. They really feel like they're losing out here. We see the replay on this one. Does Rookie even actually have the smite here? Looks like he has Ignite. It would be crazy if he ended up stealing this without even having smite available. By the way, uses the Realm Warp to get into the pit.
Let's have a look right now, because again, look, you look
at
top
he does have smite. Yeah,
he just gets it. But like top esports stop, they want to try and kill them off before they come in, but double smite.
There's too much AoE as well, because obviously the only thing JackeyLove can do is AoE. Wayward a lot of AoE as well.
Yeah, smite.
It's really hard because they kept it at 2.5, which is normally like a healthy amount, but the fact it was double smite and AoE damage, you know, they had to kill them, just ended up resulting in being stolen. It's not the end of the world for top esports, but not exactly a good feeling. And now this Dragon is the next focal point. Rich, super strong, going to set up with some early poke. Really going to come down to this fight to kind of dictate the game.
Let's have a quick look at summoners right now. You have all flashes available for V5 and, of course, for the side of top esports. You are missing a teleport and a heal, Ignite as well, onto Knight, JackeyLove and Mark, respectfully. But the poke is decent here from V5. You got to be careful from top esports.
Onto Rookie, they did like no damage, so not the best use ultimately. We'll have to see if they can get the reset. So they're looking for Rich.
Flash from Rich keeps them safe for now, but got to be so careful. It is V5 though, bullying them way out, bullying the side of top esports away from this objective, and honestly holding mid-wave a lot better compared to the side of top esports.
Well, they have the Baron buff as well, which really helps out in this situation for mid-prio. I'm looking at Knight honestly here. He has the ultimate, has the big AoE CC. If he can land a big one, that's the potential for the reset to come out. But honestly, looks like top esports haven't found their way in. Yeah, they're just giving up. So, man, considering the lead top esports had to have it slipping away like this, to be losing out on this Dragon and that Baron, considering how the series against RNG went. For anyone who didn't watch it, top esports against RNG, top esports won early game 4 games out of 4, and yet they lost 3-1. This is worrying. It feels like it's going a similar direction.
And again, it comes down to how the map is being played. V5 are just playing smarter around these different timings. Yes, we talked about it. You know, I thought it was a great move from Top Esports to get themselves the tier or the inhibitor turret on the top side, but they lost 2 turrets in bot. Then
with
they
bounties.
lost with a bounty. Yeah, exactly. So it with the bounties is huge right there. And honestly, with Rookie here, they might just try and turn this one, but no, Rich will be killed. They will get themselves the TP out from Wayward. He'll have to go golden. It's going to be Knight trying to kill him off. There's Rookie coming in. A double stopwatch here for Knight, and that's going to see the GA come out, and this is great for Top Esports. They are turning this one right on its head as they've got the 2 massive solo laners coming in clutch, and 3 kills goes over the top.
I don't think V5 expected that. Knight with the double stopwatch, and then Wayward. You look at his items, right? Lord Doms on top of the lethality, just ignores armor, essentially. The rest of Top Esports are like, right, we just won the side lane. Yeah, they can just look to end, honestly. If they find an engagement on a Photic, it is over.
Oh, the Moonlight Vigil is good, and that's a lot of damage to flash in, but the Xenoblade doesn't land. They're going to try and turn this one around. JackeyLove was tanking tower and has to go straight up into the feathers as he knows he would have died to the tower, so they cannot end the game. And again, little small moments from Top Esports just take away all the good.
And that's the thing, right, is they still got a lot of gold from that play. But gold's not the most important thing, right? You wanted to take something, whether it was a game or an objective there. Ult comes down. I mean, this is just Vex against a squishy. Complete 100-0 here. Kind of funny, Knight is like up in the air in this replay, so his positioning looks very different to what it really is. But the engage comes in.
He's floating above everyone. That's how big brain he is.
Stopwatch again, but the damage from Wayward with this Lord Dominix just absolutely shuts him. This is such a weird replay with that. It's so...
It is messing with my head a little bit. I'm just like, wait, why is he over there? But all you need to know is that 3 people died.
Not the most informative replay.
Yeah. And no one died on Top Esports. But at the end of it all, it doesn't really change anything. If anything, now you've lost that double stopwatch play. That would have been fantastic for a team fight. Yes, you break open the mid lane, but the Aphelios is now on 3.5 items.
But what I will say is, Wayward, 4 items on this Graves, right? A lot of damage coming out, and that was an Infinity Edge pickup as an expensive item. We do see Rich on those 4 items as well, but obviously a bit cheaper. Now, Baron in 30 seconds. Bit tricky to play for this one, but Dragon will be in 2 minutes. So we've kind of gotten over that lull point where there's nothing really to play for. Now things are going to heat up very quickly.
Yeah, we're going to see them now pushing forward. Wayward is going to take a lot of damage by going with the IE and not the Death Stance. Of course, we'll take the full brunt of the poke damage coming out here from Rich. And now V5 trying to just defend in towards this mid lane. And these accelerated shock blasts. If they land 2 or 3 of them, and it does change the dynamic of the fight.
They even gave blue buff to Rich in this situation to try and just consistently land that poke. And that's the problem. Top Esports, I said it before the start of the game, against a Jayce, if you can fish for an engage and you're ahead, you can just go and not let them set up the poke. But when things are more delicate like this, it gives them a lot of windows to land that poke on the enemy side.
Oh, well, you can see that Wayward went up towards that top side to push that one in. It's going to be answered by Rookie, who does have the Realm Warp. Needs to be careful. No real vision there. Mark looking for something. Solo Flare tags the end of it. Karsa is over the wall as they might try and look for an engage. It's exactly what they're going to try and go for. Try and maybe jump onto JackeyLove. But this Jarvan just cannot survive. He will get the flash from JackeyLove to get him out and to get the kill. Now you have no jungler and the Baron is there. I don't think Rookie's got himself the smite on the back pocket this time.
I gotta say, this is literally what I said at the start of the game. There are not many good targets for Karsa the ultimate in the late stages. Tries to go for JackeyLove. JackeyLove is like, what? And yeah, they're just going to do the Baron. V5 going to try and contest, but look at Knight on this deep flank.
Deep flank from Knight has got the Shadow Surge coming in. The Baron goes down, secured there by Top Esports. Now V5, Rookie a little bit isolated away, but they do get themselves right on top of the back line. Knight does have to go into his ultimate stasis. JackeyLove takes the Moonlight Vigil to the face, and look at this damage. It's being turned around. Rookie very healthy, and V5 are starting to get a bit of confidence right now. They're chasing back Top Esports. No one else will die, but it's definitely starting to look a bit rocky. 25 seconds till Dragon spawns, and oh, ppgod, he wasn't quite able to stop the reset there coming in. It should be Top Esports still able to get this mountain soul, but V5, they're starting to feel good.
I know, they're pretty late to the objective, right? V5 going to be there first and have control. It comes down to whether Top Esports find an angle to approach. Photic currently fishing, but hard to really engage on the Tian when he is in that mist.
Here we go. This could be it. Could be Mountain Soul for top esports. If V5 can secure this objective, they would put themselves on the soul point and really just take a lot of time off of this Baron push as well. Mark gets caught out and takes a good chunk. The Baron's just being taken right now. Knight's going to try and get over the wall, but that's going to be V5 taking themselves off the soul point. That's 3 dragons for them, and they're going to be able to get themselves all the way out as well. This is huge for V5. Not only do you get the dragon, but you've wasted so much time on the Baron.
And on top of that, going to have 2 mountain dragons in pocket now when you have this super tanky Ryze, as well as the Jarvan, who's getting quite bulky, has a lot of value. Now, top esports still have the Baron. They want to make use of this, but they must be so frustrating missing out again and again on these neutrals. For now, this tier 2 bot will be sacrificed by V5. But they will be looking to defend and stop attacking.
I've been kind of quietly talking about this and, you know, seeing how everything's going. It's actually the gold lead's catapulted up 6k. It actually has been significant in terms of what top esports have been able to do, but it does feel like with the scaling V5 have, it's getting harder and harder to make this one work. It's a massive wave in the bot side. As we can see, there's the flash from Photic. He did not have cleanse, but will keep himself safe with that particular summoner. You do have 2 cannon minions doing work onto this tower, but the shock blast, good god! Now they can maybe jump on tonight in the mid lane. He's gonna have to be flashed away, but no! The Rakan is very squishy and he will end up falling. And now V5, the flash in from Mark, they're gonna get the stasis there out of Rich as Jayce needs to try and keep himself alive. The Moonlight Vigil does not do enough. They trade back the support, but it's not really what you want. Towers falling, inhibitors as well. Can top esports end the game right here, right now?
It's all on Photic to defend here. He is that big carry. Top esports have to be a bit careful approaching this one, but it's a 4 against 3.
It is a 4 against 3. There's a double knock up on the Cataclysm. It's all on Photic. You can see Rookie.
Oh, it's gone!
But he's gone. Deleted in an instant as top esports. They got the early game. They worked very, very hard, but they will eventually get the win and equal us up to 1-1.
It's a win, right? Top esports do get the point on the board. But man, that should not have been that hard. That was a roller coaster and a half in that one. And they do end up winning out in the end. I think a big aspect is I kind of talked about the Jarvan didn't have good options to ult onto. I did like the team fight that Top Esports had in the late game. I feel like if Top Esports didn't have as many tools in the late stages, they probably would have just lost.
Yeah.
And this is kind of what we saw when they had that game against RNG. Well, RNG, the better scaling comp, they did end up just losing. So I think they gave themselves some tools in draft, but man, it should not be that hard. It should not be that hard. Compare that to game 1 where V5 were like, okay, we're ahead, boom, done. Right?
Yeah.
The night and day.
Yeah, it felt like it was a slugfest. It felt like it was just constantly, they were fighting for every small little bit. And the funny thing is as well is that even right up into the end, they didn't get sold despite having the early Dragons lead. They constantly took really bad fights around the Baron, and it just felt very, very disconnected. So for top esports, you take the W. It's now basically a best of 3 with the next 2 wins going over to whoever, gets them and winning the series. But you gotta start cleaning it up right now. Like, you gotta be... And now, because V5 have side selection, you gotta figure out what you're gonna be banning.
Yeah, I feel like, often you lose a game in a series and you go like, okay, what's the lesson? I feel like top esports have a lot of lessons from that one, despite the fact they won, right?
We won. Why?
Yeah, so, I think V5, I would, even with that loss there, I would still feel confident you made them really work for it. I will say the Jarvan didn't feel it in that game.
No.
I think they were definitely just wasn't really valid. Rich really got bullied out a lot by the enemy team as well. And this Viego looking like a big contested pick in this series. So we'll have to see what happens in the next draft. What a back and forth, honestly, though.
It's going to be so difficult to tell as well, because don't forget, top esports have played the first 2 games on blue side. So they had the option to first pick it. Now I would argue, I put some decent money that V5 are going to go over to the blue side, get that first pick priority. And, what do you change up? You're going to have to start taking the Zeri ban now as top esports, which means you're going to have to either drop the LeBlanc or the Orianna.
No, they can just drop it because they banned Hecarim. They banned Leona game 1, Hecarim game 2. I don't really care about those bans, right?
I feel like the Viego open though, and the Lee Sin.
Well, if you leave them both open, that's fine, right? If Lee Sin and Viego are open, you trade them, right? I'm okay with that. You ban Zeri, you ban LeBlanc, you ban Ori, boom, done. That is top esports bans on red side coming out. I'd be fine with that.
All right, hang on, just so I can confirm it. What are you saying? The first 3 top esports ban?
Zeri, LeBlanc, Ori.
Okay, you're going with those 3. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna call you out and just slap you on broadcast. It's just like, no, you were wrong.
Actually, maybe the Ari, because the Ari could be a first ban. Maybe it goes Zeri, Ari, Orianna. Regardless, we have our post-game thing, and we can see, is that Is that the correct goal graph? That looked like the goal graph from the first game.
That is the goal graph from the first game, and it's also the it's the actual end screen. Ignore that post-game screen. That is the wrong graphics.
I was about to say, that is not the goal graph for the game we saw. I was excited to see the goal graph, and I'm like, huh?
Wait a minute.
Huh?
That looks awfully familiar.
That looks awfully too smooth.
In 29
for top
minutes? No,
esports.
you know. It's just how it is. It is the wrong graphic, unfortunately, but it is, things happen. We are in a remote broadcast. But end of the day, top esports get the win. V5 will now have side selection going into the next game. Honestly, I would love to see something change. I think jungle, despite it not being as big of an issue this particular game, it kind of is a massive focal point for both these teams. I feel like when Karsa is on the Viego and relevant versus on the Jarvan and not, it's a big difference in terms of how V5 look.
Yeah, I mean, that is more like it, right? We had the up and the down and then back up again. Definitely roller coaster like. Yeah, this Jarvan really just did not do too much altogether. You can
top
see
lane damage